Okay, so welcome to our podcast. This is a little bit different today because this podcast is a spin-off of our radio show. Very excited to have you here, Dr. Pompa.
Glad to be here.
I'm such a fan of yours. I've been a fan of yours for a long time. And I met you in Cabo last year. And I remember when I met you there because they put me in a room. They go, hey, we're going to get you set up for I was getting stem cells. So we're going to get you set up for stem cells. But here we want you to meet somebody. And then open the door and you're sitting in a chair getting stem cells. And I was like, Dr. Pompa. Like I knew exactly who you were. I follow you on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was somewhat starstruck.
Yeah.
Right. And then you are like, Dr. Pompa. And you go, I'll never forget, you go, are you part of Joe Polish's crew? Or something? Joe Polish, the 100,000 Club or something?
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
You go, are you part of the Joe Polish 100,000? Is it 100,000 Club? 10,000?
Yeah, 100K.
Yeah. And I was like, I go, yeah. I didn't know what that was. I just said, yeah, you know, I come from an improv school with yes and. And we started talking.
I love him.
You were talking about stuff, and then you were getting your stem cells. Then I went into another room, and I started getting my stem cells. But since then, I have now become friends with Joe Polish.
Yeah.
I've had him on the podcast. And I've talked to him many times.
Yeah, he lives here.
Yeah. He's an incredible human being.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his, so it was pretty cool that.
You know what made him such a good human being is his addiction.
Yeah.
And his story, right? Pain to purpose. You know, it's like that's what made him such a good human. I bet if we had met him when he was going through all that addiction, drugs, sex, all of it, we wouldn't have said he's such an amazing guy.
Right. Plus, he had long hair and a ponytail.
Yeah, plus, he had long hair and a ponytail.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, not that we care about that, but that was a reflection of where he was in his life. Now he just lost all his hair.
Right. So as far as the health and wellness space goes, I truly am just a fan. Want to pick your brain on a bunch of stuff. I just did the other day, for the first time 2 days ago, methylene blue. What's your take on that?
It's a biohack, meaning it's a synthetic that absolutely impacts the mitochondria. And the reason I said it's a biohack, it's a synthetic, meaning that there's a place for biohacks, right? But most biohacks can be overdone. And there's a point in a premise called hormesis, meaning too much of a good thing could turn bad on you. Hormesis means that if you stress a biological system and it adapts, it gets stronger, faster, smarter, healthier. If it doesn't adapt, it gets weaker, dumber, slower, more unhealthy, okay? So the key is adaptation, right? So there's a point with methylene blue that could be overdone. There's a point that it could overstimulate. There's a point that it could become toxic even. But when you look at the research on methylene blue on the brain and the mitochondria, it's extremely strong and positive, you know. So at what point, you know, does it become a negative? I don't know the answer to that. I'm just telling you that, you know, it was originally designed to color jeans, right?
It's a fabric dye.
Exactly.
That's why it blows me. When it was offered to me, I was in the middle of getting an IV drip and I'd heard all about it.
Yeah.
I was getting, actually what I was doing was EBoo.
Yeah.
I was doing EBoo treatment, right?
I've done them, yeah.
So I had the needles in my arms and they go, hey, would you like to do methylene blue?
After it, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I want to text Raphael.
Yeah.
But I can't text.
Yeah.
Because my hands are got the, and I was like, oh no, what do I do? So I had my phone.
Do this.
I kind of text Raphael, who's our mutual friend, and I hit send. And then when I looked down to hit send, there was already blue. The blue was going in my arm already.
Okay, so yeah,
right?
it won't. Look, it's not going to hurt you that amount.
That's what Raphael
look,
said.
there's been. I don't know if you saw some things on like Instagram. They're showing like the brain of humans blue.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they're showing like internal organs and systems blue.
Because of the methylene blue? Or
Right.
just
Now, hold on. I don't know how legit that is.
Right.
Okay. So I'm saying it like because it was a big thing for a while, you know. So what had happened was it stimulated a lot of texts and emails to me like, hey, man, like, is this stuff, like I found this on the internet. I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't know about those pictures because AI can do a lot of things. Right. But, you know, I can tell you that methylene blue, I mean, it can have an effect on you. It can give you energy. It can, you know, no doubt, I looked at the studies, it has an effect on the human brain in a positive way. But to what point? Because it is synthetic, right? And it is a biohack, and understanding how hormesis works, you know, there could be a point of too much gone toxic. I don't know. Time will tell. I handle things like this. If I can look at the short-term safety of it, I'll try it, and I have. I've done the EBoo with it. And
So you've done the methylene.
I have, yeah.
And believer, do you do it? I mean, will you do
that's
it
my
again?
point is I'll dabble in it a few times.
Yeah.
But
I didn't feel
because I
anything
don't
different.
feel it, I'm not going to take a risk in it because I feel like we just don't know enough.
Okay, that's fair. Because when I did it, I didn't feel different, although I did pee blue.
Yeah,
That freaked me out a little
I
bit.
know, right? Yeah. Because do you ever try to get that stuff out of your toilet? I almost said shit, but you know,
That's
it's
okay.
just
We
like,
can cuss on
yeah.
here.
But I mean, it stains toilet rings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Fortunately, I flushed right away.
Or toilet rings, or toilet bowls.
right.
It makes a ring, I should say. So, I mean, that's so when people see the pictures of the brain that's blue, you know, because there was a lot of criticism, people go, well, heck yeah, I believe that because my toilet's blue.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. What about my bladder? Is it blue? I don't know.
When I was talking to you, Cabo, I was like, and I saw you speak too. You were talking about you going through the reason you are part of the way is because of some serious pain that you went through, and issues you went through a while ago, right?
Yeah. Those Raphael stem cells.
Yeah.
Rafael Gonzalez. That's ReHealth.
His stem cells fixed you.
Yeah, they're through my body.
So
Yeah,
that's the story.
Actually, they go away, but
you went and got the stem cells.
I did. I mean, they fixed my low back, which I had when I hit. I'm 60 now. When I hit 51, all my injuries came alive. You know, meaning like all of a sudden, like every once in a while I'd get like back pain that I injured years ago, right? But it was like that year I remember like just 4 bad episodes where I couldn't move, and that's when it's like either surgery or I got to figure out something, and that's when I really started studying stem cells. Luckily, I found some studies. I was reading about different studies on stem cells. I was trying to figure out good, legit, help me. I was neutral at that point. I found some studies with Rafael Gonzalez's name on it. And Rafael Gonzalez, I think it was like 3 different studies. And so much so that I reached out to find this guy.
Wow.
And that's how I met him. I reached out and I spoke to someone in his office. I don't know, and then they put me in contact with him. And then so from there, that was years ago. So I got the first thing of stem cells. I did my own stem cells first, actually. So I had my own stem cells pulled out and put back in because they were old. They weren't that, they helped some things. I shouldn't say it was a complete loss. It wasn't. But when I got Raphael's cells, which come from a young cord cell, well, that transformed my back and my neck and my knee. I had a torn meniscus.
You did the injections?
I did both the IV, which the IV is you need an expanded cell. And those cells, what does that mean? This is a big conversation, and it's worth people hearing this because there's so much bad information. You can almost have this, if you have this conversation with 10 people will say, oh, so I heard a couple states made stem cells illegal.
Right,
okay.
like Utah.
Right. Florida. Okay,
right.
no, it's not true. They've been legal. It's you're allowed to use them. It's like how you're able to talk about them, et cetera, et cetera. That's changed. What's illegal still is you're not allowed to do, even in Utah, even in Florida, you're not allowed to do an expanded stem cell. What does that mean? That means you take 10 million cells from maybe it's a baby's umbilical cord and expand them to 200 million, sorry. That's what an expanded cell is. That is not allowed in the United States.
Is that cloning? Or you say expanded?
Expanded means that you put them in an environment and you literally feed them and give cells what cells love, and they start multiplying. Now, the FDA in the beginning had a really good reason to say that that's not allowed, because what if in this expansion you make bad cells and now that you put them in a human, they make cancer? In the beginning, they didn't know that, if that would happen. Well, it's been eons now. That's not happening. And many countries have been doing this even longer than here, or Mexico. I mean, they've been doing this a long, long time. No cancer. Okay, so we know they're safe. So why then won't they lift this? Because what they really want to do is they want to be able to make expanded cells some type of medicine and control it that way. I mean, that's the rumor on the street from the people in the know, that's why they won't lift this, because they know expanded cells are safe. Okay, so in the US, you can get stem cells injected in your joints, right? And you can get your own stem cells, but it's not allowed to be expanded. When do you need an expanded cell? If you're going to do an IV, it's better to get an expanded cell, because putting 10 million cells in you, not going to do much, but if you put 200 million, it's going to have a better impact. Be clear, stem cells don't go around your body like people think and just start growing new tissue. Most of them get trapped in the lungs within hours and days. And then some of them make their way to the liver. Some of them make their way within days to your spleen. But when they do get trapped, because there's some criticism, well, even when they get trapped and die, they release what we call cell factors, growth factors, right? Things that, stimulate your own body to start healing again. And that's really what it does. So we all have stem cells. The older we get, the more dormant they become, less active, less viable, as we say. But when you get stem cells done, it starts to release these factors, and it can start triggering your body to heal. So it does make your cells younger. It does release more of your stem cells. It's like the study where they sewed 2 rats together, and they shared blood, old rat, young rat. And the young rat literally became a little older, and the old rat became a little younger. And, so when you take on those young cells, you're becoming
so
younger.
It doesn't go in your body and go, oh, this guy's kidneys, let me go in there and fix that. I mean, I think it does. Does it something like that?
It not so simple.
Okay.
So those cells are not going there and fixing your kidney. What they're doing is they're creating signals to areas that are broken.
To fix.
Areas that are inflamed, they're signaling. It will send signals to that, and it will draw the body's attention to start healing that.
What'd you do to your back?
So that's why I like to get it IV and then inject it in the areas of trouble. Because when you inject it in the knee that's not healing, now you're bringing a lot of attention into that area to heal.
So did it heal your meniscus? It healed your meniscus?
It literally healed it, yes. I have not had, it did take 2 injections. The first one, by the way, it created such an inflammatory response. I thought, this is bad.
Right.
I mean, I could barely walk, right? And I called Raphael, hey man, this thing is really, yeah. It happened to me too. You'll be fine. It's actually probably a good thing. Are you sure? Well, as long as it didn't overinflame, I think it overinflamed. Yeah, because I can't move it. Yeah. Lo and behold, though, it healed it. It was like rock star. Yeah. I mean, it's like, but here's the other myth or misconception, I should say, about stem cells is that you get it and you walk out going, I feel great. And here's the problem. Sometimes they give you a little bit of like Dex, a little bit of something to calm down, your immune system so it doesn't attack and kill the cells immediately. And so people have a little bit of anti-inflammatory effect, probably even from the cells and a lot from the Dex. Anyway, and people go, I feel better. And I'm always like, yeah, I told you that, ignore that, but they're so hopeful, right? So, I told you that's really not the case. You're going to probably, be in more pain in 3 days, right? It's
but after a couple of months.
Then 2 to 3 months is a magic spot, right? It's and even 4 months. So that's when the healing really starts and you start to go, oh man, I can bend over. I can,
I'm telling you, I'm a big believer. Did you get the stem cell injections in your back? Just injections in your back?
Yeah,
as well?
I get injections in my back.
I went. So in August, I went back because I had the messed up L4 and L5, and I had to go because I had done injections too. But I went this time. They took me to the hospital and put me under, and they drilled holes in my spine and all that, and they put the stem cells in. I'm freaking 100%.
Yeah.
It's been about 5-6 months. It's crazy.
My wife had a grade 3 spondylo. You know what that is? That's when she had it from when she was a kid. That's when your spine literally shifts forward. So they put her in a walker too early. This happens. Parents, don't do that. Don't put kids in walkers too early or jumpers. Because what happens is they're not meant to handle that axial compression, right? That load. And so her spine shifted forward, which happens, and they develop a spondylo. You don't even know it until they become adults. She was going through menopause and perimenopause. Estrogen can create some ligament laxity. Well, it shifted just enough where something that never caused pain. If you looked at her spine on an x-ray, you'd be thinking, my gosh, she must be in so much pain. That looks horrible. No pain until it moved just a little bit more in menopause. And then what happened is she was in massive chronic pain. And she was even getting some major degenerative change, modic change in the bone, they say. But anyways, so we put his cells, we had a really good injector. And
in Cancun?
Yeah, so another guy, Dr. Schiffel. Okay. And
Schiffel, yeah, he spoke at the conference.
Yeah, he did. You're right. Yeah. Anyways, so he injected her with Raphael's cells, and he went into the disc in several areas. He went into the bone. He had a special needle. Anyways, in about 3-4 months, she was pain-free.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Man. She wakes up with a little stiffness, not even in that area. maybe down in the hip.
Again, it's rehealth. We're talking about rehealth because I think there's stem cell clinics all over the world now. Yeah. But to me, I feel rehealth is the best of the best.
Well, look, not every cell is created equal.
Right.
His cells, you and I, we had the same cell line.
Right.
Meaning, he only uses 2.
So we're like related.
Most likely
we're related now.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I thought you looked a little like me.
Hey.
So anyway, we literally, you can't just take any cell because there's a lot of clinics that are popping up in the U.S., right? And they're just putting cells in people. People are paying like $5,000 for many. I got a good deal. Did you? Because if you looked at those cells, how many are viable actually, right? So before Raphael puts the cells in, they give you a printout because they look at them, under a microscope. They're making sure even something didn't bad happen in the transition of frozen to not, to make sure the cells that you're putting in there are in fact viable, and they're able to look at live cells versus not. Right. And they're going to tell you 98% viable. It's like so. And
then there's NK. Have you done the NK cells?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
I've done those too.
I try to do them once a year. What is NK? Natural killer cells.
Right.
Now this one, they take your own blood, maybe a month ahead. And they take off, let's say you have 20 million natural killer cells in the 18 vials of blood that they take. They expand that. Now, y'all know what expansion is. They expand that. It takes a month. And they turn that 20 million into 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion. And then they have all these are your own natural killer cells, and they put them back in your body. Why? Because natural killer cells get rid of bad cells. Zombie cells, aka senescent cells that live too long, that cause you to age prematurely, bad immunity, hyperimmunity, meaning autoimmunity, and low immunity. Okay, that's just bad immunity, but it gets rid of those cells that drive that.
It eats the cancer?
It does. Well, it can. That's why they use natural killer cells.
I saw the video of that one that's going like a Pac-Man.
But in someone healthy like us, it gets rid of senescent cells.
Yeah. So you do it once a year.
I do. Okay. There was a study early on in COVID. It was a guy, I forget where the study came out of, but he was from New York. I remember that. But they showed that people that are getting hit hard from COVID, even young people in their 30s, they had a lot of senescent cells. So almost you could look at the number of senescent cells in somebody and determine who was going to get hit harder by COVID. So it didn't matter if you were 80 and you didn't have a lot of senescent cells. And keep in mind, the older you get, typically the more you have. But a healthy 80-year-old oftentimes did better than a non-healthy 30-year-old. And it was the senescent cells drew that. So the less senescent cells you can get, the slower you age, the better you feel, the less inflammation, the better immunity.
I did about a year and a half ago, but now that you say do it, I'm going again in April, actually.
Yeah, I would do it again.
Yeah.
And there's a stacking effect. I was in Raphael's study, my wife and I. And so there's a couple markers that you can you look at for senescent cells to number them. But what happened is that our senescent cells drop significantly, and then they rise up a little, but not all the way up to where they were. And then we did it again, dropped again, raised up a little, but not where it was that time. There's this stair-stepping effect that you get if you add a little consistency.
And you're not, when was the last time you had a cold, or are you one healthy guy?
I mean, I am, no doubt.
Yeah.
I am now. My whole story started in, I got very sick in 1999, 2001, 2, 3, which led me to everything I teach. It's another story.
Right. But you got sick with what? Is there one word to say that you got sick with? One sentence?
Neurotoxic illness.
Wow. Was it mold? Was it?
It was part of it. I had a very high mercury load, and I was in a low-grade moldy home.
Is that from tuna?
So, no, I got most of mine from just a mouthful of silver fillings, which 50% of those silver fillings is mercury. Wow. And then here's one other big source I had. I wore contact lenses in the 70s, 80s, early 90s. The saline solution contained thimerosal, which is a mercury derivative. So we were putting it in our eyes, which was going into our brains. They got rid of it, but most people didn't even know it.
Wow,
they got rid of it in like the early 90s. But if you wore contact lenses before that, oh yeah, you got plenty of brain mercury.
Do you still wear contacts?
I don't. It's like crazy. Here's another story. So getting these stem cells every year.
Right.
So I was noticing I was leaving my glasses, and I had all these nice expensive glasses. I love glasses. I kept leaving them. And I was wondering why. It's because I realized I could see better without them. So I thought, my prescription's changing. So I went, they're like, oh, your eyes got better. I'm like, that's crazy. They got better. So anyways, that's a blessing. Maybe it was the stem cells. Well, anyway, so I got rid of all the lenses in my glasses, redid them. And then I got a bunch of cells in my upper neck again. And then I got another IV, right? Well, they got better again. Okay, so then the next time I got stem cells in my ears.
Whoa,
because I have
that.
hearing loss in this ear. Well,
From ReHealth?
No, from another guy.
Okay.
But I can tell you, it didn't help my ears. Okay,
Okay.
It didn't help my ears. But it was remarkable what it did for the remainder of my eyes. So here I am, 60 years old now, and I almost have perfect near sight. I'm perfect. I can read anything up close.
Wow.
But I never lost that. So I never lost that. But I couldn't see far. Now I can. So this eye's corrected. This eye's almost corrected.
So the older you get, the better and healthier you keep getting?
So my cellular age, like if you look at DNA methylation testing, my cellular age is getting better too.
Do you have a number?
So I do. I mean, I'm 14 years younger than my than my.
Yeah, you look
actual
amazing,
age.
man.
So anyway, but that's. I mean, people don't understand regenerative medicine.
Right.
It's like if they did, everyone would be lining up, and it's getting cheaper. It's getting more affordable. But you need good cells, and if you're getting a joint injected, you need someone who's good at injecting.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. So on your Instagram, I'm going to say years. I can't tell you what an impact it's made on me. For example, even the restaurants I go to now, they're almost like Pampa approved. Tarbell's, went to Tarbell's because of you.
I'll be here. Yeah.
I went to the Ends because of you.
That's amazing.
Right.
Yep.
So, and this is my town.
Yeah.
Like when Dr. Papa said, go get the French fries at
So there's
Tarbell's.
another one I just went to.
Which one?
Today. Amelia's. Everyone
I've been there before. Yeah, that's
okay. Yeah.
We went there one time. It's like
They do the fries in tallow too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it comes out.
good.
They have stuff on the boards. They feed the charcuterie boards. We ate there one time. Yeah, that's good. That's a really good place. Yeah.
So there's a lot of good ones here.
Yeah. So that's like what's funny is now everyone's starting to follow on that train, the beef tallow train, right? And the butter train and the stuff. But something I almost sent my wife this video of yours today, as a matter of fact, but because I was so shocked by it. I'll come home. I get up really early to go to work, and I come home, and in our bedroom the air conditioning's turned off. I'm like, why are we turning it off? I feel like we should keep it circulating. And then I see your post.
True.
Right? I was going to send it to her, but would you tell us about how you get more sick if you don't have it on?
Well, okay, so there's a reason for this. So your wife's over there commenting. Should we? What are you saying?
It just makes me sick to run the air conditioner when we're not there for 14 hours
Okay,
a
but
day.
here's the thing. It's not the air conditioner. It's the fan. So whether you have your heat on or your air conditioner, you always want the fan running. Okay, so number one, good circulating air is healthy air, right? You want it running through the filters. But number two, especially when your air conditioning's on, your coil. Every time the fan stops on auto, what happens is condensation builds up on the coil. Okay, what that means is it's super cold, and then because it's super cold and then humid air comes in, moisture forms on the air conditioning coil. Okay, that's a no-no. Because every time that keeps happening, you're creating dripping. It's dripping down the tray, it's in the machine, and it's on the coil. Your coil becomes moldy. Once your coil becomes moldy, or you have mold in your tray, now it's blowing through your house. So by keeping your fan running, the mold never has a chance to happen, because the condensation can't happen with the fan constantly blowing across it. So you want your fan on. Number one, you're filtering your air more. Circulating air is healthy. And number two, you keep mold off your coil. So keep your fan on. Don't keep it on auto. Keep it on.
You know what you do on your social media that I love is like I'll scroll. It pops on Dr. Pampa, and you're like, are you using these 3 toothpastes? It could kill your family. I'll tell you what they are next. I'm like, oh my God.
All right, I'm not that dramatic.
Right, but I mean,
kill your family. I might say it might kill your microbiome.
What do you do for gut health? What's the best thing? Because isn't gut health one of the most important things in the world?
It really is, especially today. 20 years ago, no one talked about gut health. You know why? Because there wasn't gut problems like there was. There were some people with gut problems, but not like today. I just saw a thing. RFK said. He said, "It's not. This isn't a glyphosate. I'm sorry. This isn't a gluten problem. This is a glyphosate problem." He's right. Okay. So meaning all these people all of a sudden that are gluten sensitive, all these people that have these gut issues, right? I mean, you can go down every gut condition. Where was that when I was a kid? It wasn't.
Right.
Well, the change is this chemical called glyphosate. And I would argue other chemicals, right? But this perfect storm of the amount of chemicals, and he argues, and I agree with him, that if you look at the rise in all chronic diseases in the last 60 years, which has been dramatic, by the way, it's really toxins at the front of it. Yeah, food, but food's the carrier. When you go to Italy, they eat more processed food than we do as far as carbohydrates, like pastas, breads, things like that. But they don't have the toxin-loaded processed food. We have the processed food that's toxin-loaded, ingredients we can't read. That's the difference when you go to Italy. First of all, you don't see fat people in Italy. Oh, unless they're tourists and they're Americans, of course. There they are. You know, you must be from America. How'd you know? You're overweight. Yeah. I mean, that's, you know, what you don't see in Italy. But the fact is glyphosate is crushing the guts, especially of the younger generation.
And that's in everything?
And it's like in everything. I mean, unless you're buying 100% organic, and even then there's a chance of runoff, but even still you're cutting your load, right? But it's very difficult to do that all the time, perhaps, right? But it's not just glyphosate. There's so many other chemicals that, you know, that we're spraying on our food for different reasons.
So then what are brands, or how do you beat that? Where do you shop? Do you go to Whole Foods or Sprouts? Is there a different place? Or
I mean, Whole Foods is in every town.
Right. Do you buy a certain brand of bread? Do you eat bread?
I eat bread.
I love bread.
Sourdough 3-ingredient bread.
Sourdough 3-ingredient bread.
Yeah, I mean, it's like organic wheat. I mean, again, organic. Why? Because regular wheat is loaded with glyphosate. You know, and then look, what's happening is glyphosate, the moment it goes in your gut, creates an inflammatory response. Now, if you're super healthy, your body will deal with it. But over and over and over again, eventually it doesn't. Now you're left with leaky gut. Now you're left with antibodies going through, and your immune system starts reacting to them. Like gluten is a strand of protein that can cross over the gut. And once it's in the blood, your body starts making antibodies, and now you become gluten insensitive, right? So is it the gluten or is it the leaky gut?
Right.
It's the leaky gut.
Yeah.
What causes it? This glyphosate chemical is known to cause it.
Will they put glyphosate on the label?
No, absolutely not. They don't have to. And they use it. They use it. Jeez. And here's why wheat and grains are the worst. Because there's something called desiccation. Desiccation means that the company Monsanto that developed the chemical, they discovered something brilliant. So not only are they, you know, providing the chemicals that spray for pests as an herbicide, pesticide, but they also realize that if we spray it on before harvesting the grain, it has a shriveling, drying effect, and it actually makes harvesting that much easier. So it's called a desiccant, and desiccation creates that shriveling, and they're able to, like, literally change how much they're able to, and the speed of which they're able to actually, you know, hull the grain, etc. So now they spray it all before they harvest it. Well, what happens? The chemical load is like through the roof.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So and then they sell seeds to the farmer of a seed that can handle higher levels, because once you're spraying this, it's like taking antibiotics. Right. The body becomes, or the plant in this case, becomes literally immune to it. The weeds become immune to it, I should say. Man. So now they've developed plants that can take even more spray.
So what do we do as Americans? How do we eat right?
You have to eat organic these days.
I heard sometimes the organic label isn't really what it says.
Well, I mean, they'll get shut down if it is, but I mean, could they have runoff? Could they have? Right. But I mean, it is. I mean, you're not going to get the level of chemicals, glyphosate. I mean, they have to be cleared for 3 years.
Doing the organic.
You have
no
to.
matter what. Right?
You have to. Otherwise, you will develop a gut problem, and that will affect your immune system, and that will create health problems, inflammation throughout your body, right? So, but the problem is the gut problem isn't as simple to fix by just taking a probiotic. If we're only so simple, we wouldn't have gut problems.
Right.
But that's not the problem.
Right.
People don't want to get rid of what's upstream. So let me give you an analogy, right? So you just buy this gorgeous piece of property, you and your lovely wife, and you're really excited about it, and you're looking down at this, because this property is right on this gorgeous river, and you're looking at it like, gosh, like there's dead fish in here. What, you know, I notice the plant life looks dead. And so you decide, I'm going to spend a lot of money in this. I'm going to restock it because we want to fish, and I'm going to put new plants in because someone said that really makes the difference. And so you spend all this money, and then it dies in 3 months, and then you redo it again. It dies in 3 months. Or you could say the same thing for a pond, right, that gets water from the ground. And then your neighbor comes over and says, hey, man, you might want to stop putting money into that pond or that river, because up there is a chemical producing factory that's dumping mercury into the water. And that's what's affecting your river or your pond and killing all the fish. So, but that's what people are doing with the gut thing. It's like, look, you might as well stop doing all this stuff that you're trying to do to fix the gut, because upstream there's a chemical factory. You're eating all that non-organic food. You have silver fillings in your mouth, leaking mercury down in. You're using products every day that are going right into your bloodstream. You're showering in a regular shower, getting chlorinated water. You know how much of that you breathe? It's a morning shower is equal to drinking 11 glasses of chlorinated water, which crushes your microbiome. I'm making a point that the onslaught, unless you minimize what's coming in upstream, you're never going to repopulate the fish downstream. Does that make sense to everyone listening?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you get your fillings replaced?
Oh, yeah. And then my process is I had to learn to get the mercury out of my brain, because that's the problem, is these chemicals like mercury and many of these pesticides, forever chemicals, they bioaccumulate, they stockpile. They're called forever chemicals for a reason. In the scientific literature, they're called persistent chemicals, meaning some chemicals go right through you. Other chemicals stack up. So as our government looks for safe levels of fluoride, safe levels of chlorine, safe levels of mercury, what is a safe level? Because once your body's detox pathways start slowing down because of the accumulation of these toxins, and they slow down more and more and more, now you're accumulating, so even small amounts you're not getting rid of. So what is safe for you? A lot less than maybe this teenager here that still has pathways to get rid of it. The point is we accumulate it. Most mercury ends up in the brain.
How do you get it out?
It's a nasty neurotoxin. That's my process, and we don't have time to go through
that's your process.
Yeah, I have what is to save my life. My brain phase of detox.
Is that the Dr. Pompa cellular something?
Yeah.
So is there a website people go to?
Pompaprogram.com. There's free trainings there. You can watch it. And I talk about that process of like how you get rid of or how you get rid of mercury in your brain. Basically toxins in your tissue. It's not as simple as sitting in a sauna. It's not as simple as taking this 10-day cleanse you bought in a box at your chiropractic office or something like that. Not that simple. You have to fix the cellular pathways that day in, day out are meant to get rid of these toxins. And when they do, you remain healthy. But when they slow down, the anxiety starts, the fatigue starts. Can't make it through a day without energy. Don't sleep the same. You know, I feel like my age. That's what starts when toxins accumulate.
Pumpaprogram.com. Speaking of sauna, do you sauna? Do you believe in sauna? Sauna's great.
I like the taste of this.
Yeah, right. I know it's good. You know, we'll try to see. I'll get.
I love saunas, but you're not going to sit in a sauna. There's heat shock protein. Heat like cold is good if you don't overdo it. Right. Because it's that hormesis that I said. Right. You know, people sit in saunas too long and they wonder why they're fatigued later in the day. They might, or cold baths. People do a 3-minute cold bath because, you know, Joe Rogan does or something. Right. But the fact is their body didn't adapt, so they violated the hormetic principle. And they got weaker, slower, more inflamed. You know, so the point is you have to respect these things that work because they stress you. Saunas work because it's a stress, and your body adapts to that stress if it adapts.
Once a day is good, 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, very healthy. 20 minutes, you don't need to sit in there and bake. You don't need to cook yourself. You know, but you know, Wim Hof stays in the cold for 20 minutes. That doesn't mean you can.
Right. What about red light beds? Do you believe in that stuff?
It's a biohack, meaning red light, the sun has red light, but it also has a full spectrum of other wavelengths that benefit you. So if you're taking just red light, maybe it's near infrared, red, right, all these different frequencies, and it can have a positive energy input into your mitochondria, but too much, too long could have a negative input.
Oh, you just got to know the right balance.
Premise is, again, it's back to that hormesis thing, right? Because remember, you're taking something out of balance. Right? Even something in balance, if you sit in the sun too long, what could happen to you?
Sunburn.
Yeah. It could be a negative, right?
Yeah.
And then we put on sunscreen. Oh, it's okay because we block the UVB, the ones that burn you. So we don't get burned. You don't want to get burned. It's good to do that. Oh, wait. But the UVA, the one that actually causes cancer, you're allowing more of that through because you stayed out longer because you didn't burn.
Right.
Oh, that's half-ass backwards. Right. Oh, and then the sunscreen has a bunch of chemicals in it that are actually known to cause cellular dysfunction, DNA dysfunction, and that can actually lead to cancer. Well, that explains why melanoma is highest in people who don't go in the sun. So wait a minute, people that sit in offices all day long actually have higher melanoma. Oh, and why does it occur in places that never saw the sun? A lot of the times it did. I just met someone who had cancer and never saw the sun, but she got melanoma down here. Okay, see, because it's systemic.
That's nuts. Do you wear sunscreen? No, or
No,
special sunscreen?
I don't. I never do. But again, I wouldn't stay out and burn. I have dark skin, fortunately. I can stay out longer than someone who has light skin.
Yeah.
You know, but even someone who has light skin, maybe you can only stay out 10 minutes. Stay out 10 minutes.
No, I
and
remember
then get away. Put a hat on. Cover yourself.
Talking to you and your wife in Cabo last year, I remember neither one of you guys do the Botox, the fillers, which is like unheard of.
No Botox, no
Right?
fillers. No, exactly. I mean, some people might say it shows. My point would be good. I'm glad it shows
think it
because
was
I
great.
look normal.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
like
right.
all that does. And
Right.
again, I'm not being critical of people who do, right? Because nobody wants to look bad.
Right.
Everybody wants to look good. So I get it. I choose not to because I understand the effects. And I will say this boldly: I don't like the look. And again, if someone just gets a little bit, no problem, right? It doesn't even look that bad. But that's not what's happening, is it? You get a little bit,
They're getting the two
and then
big
they get more,
lips,
and then they get the lips, then they get this, and then it ends up looking like a freak show. So, it probably is very addictive, and where you're now looking at every little crack. So, I don't want to get involved in that game either. But I don't like the look. I always say this. Maybe this comes across a little wrong, but my wife doesn't care. She understands when I say this. If I were single again for some reason, okay, that's the part it could go a little south. My wife stops hitting me. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be dating a 30-year-old. I would be dating a woman who's fit in her 50s, most likely.
Right.
I don't mind wrinkles, and I don't mind wrinkles. I like a woman who ages normal. I
Right.
think it's attractive. I think
No,
it's sexy.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So I think it's going to swing. I think it's going to swing back to where humans are starting to be attracted to
I think you're right.
people that look more like humans. Is that,
When you first sat down, we were talking about EBoo.
I'm gonna get hate mail.
No,
on this.
you're not. No, you're
yeah,
not.
but I don't
you-
care.
No, you're not.
Because it's my choice. It's like
When we were talking about EBoo, what's your take on EBoo? How important is that, and what does it do? Because I did it,
how
I don't even know what it
important
does.
I don't think people need EBoo, right?
Okay.
But I like EBoo. That's so it's not like it's important. You're
It's
gonna
a
have to.
machine
You better
that
get EBoo.
Takes blood out and puts it back in on one arm and out the other, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's important is drinking clean water. EBoo's fun, but no, EBoo can be transformative because it does have a cleansing effect, and they're running it through some ultraviolet, so it can knock out some pathogens in the blood. And here's a misnomer about EBoo, though. Did they look at the filter?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of ozone dialysis, what they
Right,
call it, right?
right.
Cleans the blood. The places that still say, "Oh, look how much toxins you have because your bucket's more filled than your wife's," it's not true. Those are certain proteins and things that I think they said albumin that builds up in there. Right. So now one of the developers of it and one of the guys did a test. They're very clear that that's not toxins.
The liquid isn't toxin, but
Right.
there is that little thing that's got all the gunk in it.
It foams up, right? And they're saying, "Oh my gosh, you're really toxic compared to." Yeah, it's not. It doesn't.
But there's
work
that other thing
that doesn't make it bad.
It's got all the
but
fat and gross in it, the red thing.
Yeah, right. Well, that's part of the where your blood's going.
Yeah.
through.
Okay. So you like it?
I do. I like it. I mean, it's great. And then, like I said, it's running it through different wavelengths of light. And you can even have fun with some of the EBoo and red light. You can put red light in it. On your blood before it goes in.
Yeah, they have the different machines. That
but I mean, it makes you feel good. I mean, it's one that I do feel better.
Is it something you do every 3 months?
You could.
But for you, once a year, or just whenever?
I probably do it once or twice a year.
Okay.
Just I'm somewhere and someone has it, and I'll do it.
What about the plasma transfer, TPE?
I've never had it yet, but I'm about to get it.
I've done it twice.
Dr. Khan Wen.
Okay.
I interviewed her on my podcast. She's amazing.
I don't know
She
her.
came from Vietnam. She was 13 years old. And she literally, her father was just arrested. Communism was in Vietnam and taking over. And she said to her mother, "I want to go. I have a dream of being a doctor in the United States. Please let me go. And I'll make sure my sister, who is older, 2 years older than her, are fine." She convinced her mother to let her go. There was this boat that carried 19 people, and it was heading out. And they didn't get on. She jumped in and grabbed her sister and pulled her in the boat. And they were like, and she's like, "I'm not leaving." And she waited right when they pulled up the anchor and set sail. The engine, this little tiny engine, gave way day one. They floated in the ocean for 7 days. And finally, someone spotted land. And it was it was one of the Philippine islands. And they couldn't get in. They were using her jacket as a sail. And there was no wind. They couldn't get in. She was about to jump in and swim, 13 years old. and someone spotted a boat. It ended up to be a Red Cross boat. Anyways,
Wow.
She ended up in the United States as a
Became a
kid
doctor.
with no money, became a doctor. Isn't that incredible? Anyways, she's in Austin. She does the plasmapheresis, as it's called,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And what that is it's like the rats, where you're taking the old rat, they sewed the rats together, was getting the blood of the young rat. Plasma is part of your blood, and it has a lot of these cell factors in it, a lot of these communication molecules, if you will, that drive healing and other important things in the blood. The young one's blood affected the old one's, right? And it was the plasma. So it takes out your plasma, your old plasma, and which in itself is good because it gets your body to produce new. And then you put in young plasma. That's plasmapheresis. And the young plasma has all these factors. It's like taking a bunch of stem cells, right? And then those factors start telling your body to heal again, just like the rat.
It's like a 3-hour process. I've done it twice.
Yeah,
And,
plasma out. So my buddy Ben Greenfield said that was still the most powerful biohack. He does every biohack known to man.
Yeah.
He's done it all, right?
Yeah.
It's like, he said it was the most powerful. Did you feel that way?
No.
Yeah,
And I've
okay.
had two doctors tell me there's two things. Either I should be concerned or it's great. I'm so in tune with my body that I don't know. I didn't feel different. But I also, I don't get a lot of sleep. So my body feels weird all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
His level of normalcy is weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is.
So
It
we
is.
can't use him for anything. Yeah. As a
I
gauge.
can't because I do the Sleep 8 mattress. I wear the O-ring. I wear the Whoop.
Yeah.
I do virgin olive oil. Do you do that too?
Yeah. Well, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to do it once a day at least, right? Is there a certain brand you believe in?
I just use olive oil on everything.
Oh, you just
Yeah,
put
I
you don't chug it. I chug it out of the
I
bottle.
do that too, though.
Yeah.
I couldn't say I do it every day, but I use olive oil every day because
Apple cider vinegar, do you do that?
no, I've done times.
Is
with
that
it.
okay? Because I just
I
started
think
doing-
so. I mean, I'm not one to like to force alkalinity. People are like, make your body more alkaline. A functioning body goes through alkalinity and acidity. It's important. You should do this. You never should just be alkaline. You should never just be acid. But
What's your take on colonics?
I think they can be helpful at times, but it can be addictive too. People that get
can?
colonics all the time literally can lose peristalsis in their gut, meaning it starts to literally like overflating a balloon too much. So the fact is that periodically, I think it can be helpful. Keep in mind, it's not going, 10 feet up your colon.
Right, right.
It's not. But when people have a lot of, we'll just call it sediment in their lower intestine, it can help them out dramatically.
I got invited to go do one this week in some special new thing. It's like an egg and they do whatever. I don't know. I said I'd do it. So it's, but I was actually gonna say, if you said, no, it's not good. And I was gonna cancel.
So what do you mean an egg?
I don't know. It's like you get in this machine, like back in the day, it was like a tube.
Yeah.
Now you get in some egg like this and it's like, red light, red light's coming your way, coming up here. And then all of a sudden you get out of the tube and it's all gone. I don't know.
Oh.
I'll let you know. I'll send you a link.
Yeah. I almost want to say send me a video on that, but I almost want to say don't do
Actually,
that.
do you know?
Yeah.
Do you follow Alex Clark? You know Alex Clark?
No.
Oh man, you got to meet her. She's amazing. You would love her. She goes and speaks with RFK around, but she just posted a video
Clark,
of her
I
getting
should know
it.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, you should know her. I'll show you a video of her. She's
Maybe
been on
I
my
do.
podcast. She's tremendous,
Alex.
man. Wow. Okay, so what's one thing? What's the future of biohacking of health? What?
How much of this do you do? I'm referencing your
I
wife.
do a minimum of what he does. I
don't-
do some of it.
Okay.
Sauna, some
I do
cold plunge.
sauna, I do cold plunge.
Uh-huh.
I'm like.
Have you got the stem cells?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I have a whole leg and
That
whole
hurts.
arm thing going on right now.
Yeah. You need stem cells in there, right?
Yeah, and I did the ones in my hip, and that was in like the
Yeah.
knee thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk for like 4 days.
Right.
They had to take me in
So-
a wheelchair at the airport.
There's this new thing called there's cell factors. It's kind of like exosomes, but there's a lot of them, like 400 some. And cell factors are what stem cells release. So I've been looking into these, and there's no DNA in them, but they drive healing in the body. So this guy Sanjay, I'll have to connect you to him. But anyways, maybe you try some of these.
Yeah,
you
that'd
know,
be great.
Yeah, they have a really pronounced effect on some of these chronic conditions. But you're not going to sit in the poop egg?
No.
No? Okay, yeah. Okay, you're not going to sit in the poop egg. Yeah. Uh-huh. It's the egg that takes out poop. I don't know. Yeah.
Wait, I was going to ask you about, so in Cabo last year, when we were on the panel and you were speaking, there was a woman there in the audience. I didn't meet her, but she tagged me in some photos. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. She tagged me in this picture or whatever. And then I kind of like was checking her out and looking at her social media. And now I'm completely intrigued with this woman. I see her in Gary Brecka's kitchen. I see her having dinner with you guys all the time. And
Who?
And I'm like, who is this, Randy?
Oh, Randy, she knows everyone. She knows the world.
I tell my wife, I go, who is this woman?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Randy. Yeah, she absolutely knows the world. And there's like 1 degree of separation from like everybody. She knows everybody, and she's the nicest human.
But I see her doing the biohacking thing all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm so interested in a lot of stuff she does.
She has and she's like one of those people that she's not afraid to talk to anyone, but she'll absolutely, if you connect her, I'm trying to figure out her Instagram.
It's like Randy Roven. She's like
tennis
playing tennis with Djokovic.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Then she's in the kitchen with Gary Brecka. And then she's
so it's, here it
with
is.
DJ Khaled.
Yeah, okay, I thought it was something different, but it's, Randy, it's RANDEEROVEN.
And then she's with you all the time. She's always having dinner with you and your wife.
Well, she's always at the seminars, right? And she's friends with, both my wife and I. Yeah. So, she's amazing. She's like connected to the planet.
I kind of want to interview her and get her here.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, she's a lot of life.
Do bizarre things.
Yeah, she has a lot of life, and she, like I said, she's tried everything. She's always saying, "I'm trying this." She's like you, right?
Yeah, right. That's why I look at her as maybe a female version of me. But
yeah.
But so if where's the future of this going? Is there
what?
Of biohacking, of health? Is there something you're excited for that's coming out in 5 years?
Well, these self factors. I said to this guy Sanjay, who's hired all these scientists to really pull this off. I think like 4 or 5 PhDs and in the cell world, and he said, "Look, we figured something out that nobody has, but in 3 to 5 years." Everyone's going to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like how they isolated these, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, it could be the future of stem cells. He also said, though, there's still always an argument for live cells. I don't remember his reason, but he did say there's still a reason to get live cells. So I can't say it's the complete future for stem cells. However, it really drives it to another level. Mm-hmm. And
is ReHealth maybe going to have these things?
I think if there's truth to it, Raphael will figure it out because he's a man of gold.
Hey, in your history of health, have you ever had any kind of prostate issues?
Never. No, I'm 60 and I don't get up and go to the bathroom one time through the night.
Are you serious? Yeah. How is that possible? What's the trick to that?
I guess it's everything I preach and do.
There's not one thing. I got a hack for me there was one point, in fact, this is also on your Instagram. There was a point several months ago where I was getting up 5 times to go pee. Turned out I had a UTI.
Oh, yeah. Right? Drink your own urine.
I saw you post that. Drink your own. I talked to you about that in Cabo.
Yeah.
To drink. So you said morning urine, right?
Yeah. First morning urine. Drink it.
So like a shot glass of it or what?
Yeah. I mean, for a UTI, this has been around for eons. They're cringing over here in the background if you can't see them, too bad. But yeah. So, I mean, anytime you say drink your own urine, it's like, gosh, people just go, oh my God. First of all, it is sterile. Okay. Urine's sterile. And I can say since I've done it, I have a very different relationship with urine. Before it'd be like, oh my God, I got urine on my hands. Right. Okay, I'm not going to touch anything. Right. Oh, I got a little on my phone. I'm going to sterilize my phone. Now it's like, yeah, I got urine on me. For years, I would tell women, drink a Dixie cup full of morning urine if you have a UTI, and it worked. So I thought that was the only therapeutic use. And then I'm in a seminar, and Jonathan Otto, you should interview him sometimes. He's a character. He was like, oh my gosh, Dan, no, it's urine therapy. It's good for blah, 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 blah. So I'm sitting at the seminar, and I'd get bleep. I'd look down at my phone. He'd send me another thing to read on urine therapy. And so I was just, I can't remember the seminar because I literally sat for 2 days reading urine therapy articles. And then he sent me this whole book online, Take Your Own Medicine or something like that. And anyway, so I read that. And then it intrigued me enough that I said, okay, my wife, we're going to drink our own urine for 30 days. Now, she was one that had a UTI and drank her own urine. So for her, she wasn't as freaked out as I am. So I get up at 6 a.m. with this goal, and she hears me get up, okay? And she yells out, remember to drink your own urine. And my exact words were, fuck. That was my exact words, because it was the last thing I wanted to do.
Right.
And she like announces me to do it. So now I have to do it, right? So it was the worst thing the first time, you know? It's like, I mean, I thought everyone, like, I don't want to drink it warm. Maybe it's better cold. Maybe it's better. Can I chase it with this? I had like all these things I wanted to do. In the end, I just drank it. And everyone says, like, what did it taste like? It tastes like urine. I mean, it does. It tastes like urine, meaning the way it smells, it tastes. Okay, so not so pleasant, but I got it down. And each day it did get easier. I never jumped up looking forward to it by any means. But if you hold your nose, you don't taste it at all, right? Here's the problem. The moment you let your nose go, I swear, even if you could do it for 2 hours, the moment you let it go, you taste it. So you have to put food in your mouth before you let your nose go. Okay, that lasted a couple days, but it worked, right? It's like, but then I'm like, oh my God.
But
like,
isn't urine getting rid of all the crap that's in your body?
Okay, full disclosure, I noticed nothing. Now, that's not the norm. But again, I'm the guy who knows nothing, you know, from a lot of things like you.
Right.
But that doesn't make, I've challenged other people to it, and it was transformative.
Wow.
It's not, you know, so it's not what you think. A lot of the toxins that come in you, it'll just put it right back in urea. So a lot of it's going through you. But what's in it is healing metabolites, literally. Things that your body, in a homeopathic level, your body has the recipe. And by putting it back in, it acts as a homeopathic. Okay. And there's a lot of other theories. So evidently, other countries utilize urine therapy for a lot of things. A baby gets a skin rash, you take mama's urine or the baby's urine, rub it on it, it's like transformative. So there's antibodies there, there's metabolites or other that drive other healing, there's cell factors, there's absolutely stem cells. So there's a lot of things in urine.
I'm in, I'll do it tomorrow.
Don't you do that for jellyfish too? You pee on
they
them
say-
and they get stung by
exactly.
jellyfish. So
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things for urine therapy, right? And they say if you get athlete's foot, pee on your feet, right? It's like, see, people know these things, right? So urine can have an absolute healing effect. In that book that I read, I think it's Take Your Own Medicine. Someone Google it, see if that's the name. And because it's remarkable. I always tell people, if you just read the first chapter, you'll probably be drinking your urine the next day. Let me just bring it to life. Bold. Yeah. So here's the life of it. So this woman tried everything. She was very, very sick, bedbound. And she's out of it. She literally came to the time where she was like, I'm just done. I'm going to go home. She's telling her husband, you know, like, I'm ready to just quit now, right? And she was at peace with it. So he comes in like the next day and says, honey, I got one more thing you're going to try. Honey, look, I'm not going to let you spend one more nickel. It's free. Oh, well, then forget it for sure, right? You know, when you're sick, people tend to bring you everything, right? And she was down the road of that. Anyways, he tells her about drinking her own urine. She thought he was absolutely crazy, right? Well, it was either, you know, give in to death at this point or try it. So she tries it. Fast forward in a month, she's regained her health more than anything. In 2 months, she's a new person. So when you read that chapter, you might think differently about drinking your own urine.
True. Do you still do it? Or
no.
You haven't done it in a while?
I mean, if I got to, I mean, if I had something bizarre, I probably would start drinking it, right? You know, but I didn't enjoy it enough to just drink it, you know.
Do you still travel with your own toilet paper?
I do. I have it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
It's like right now, what are you in town for?
Toilet paper is a big deal. Right. I'm not just crazy, right? I
have my dude wipes with me.
Yeah. Gosh. Someone said I have to do a video on those. I have to buy them and look at the ingredients because, you know.
Is there a brand that you
Why do you use dude wipes? What is dude wipes?
Dude wipes are, have you ever heard of them?
Yeah. Okay. They're like, the hand tile
Yeah,
things.
but they're for wiping for guys.
Yeah, but why?
Right. Well, like I have the travel pack, I put in my pocket. I used one already today. So like when you're...
Do they make like chemical-free ones? Are they healthy, dude?
I don't know. That's what I was hoping you were going to say. Yeah, but like my wife and I, we were on a walk yesterday and... I went on a hike.
Ignore this.
I went on a hike and then I went home and we walked to a restaurant, got some coffee, and on the way back, I had to go. And it had to go now. And I went in the canal behind the dumpster, and then I have the dude wipes in my pocket. Yeah. It's a good travel hack.
Yeah, see, guys get that. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like sometimes, you know, it's just got to go. But
is there a brand of toilet paper or do you get them online?
I mean, there's so many brands. My wife has like 2 or 3 brands. Confidential, what is the name of their business though? I'm drawing a blank on it. They have a big podcast.
For
their brand of toilet paper. Anyways, they have a good brand. I'll think of it here before the end. But
all right.
Anyway, there's a lot of problems with toilet paper. Okay, so that nice white color, they bleach it. Okay, so but the problem is that chemicals there, and where are you putting that? You're putting it in tissues that, meaning
right,
human
glands,
tissues,
yeah.
gland, not tissue. You know, where are very sensitive to certain chemicals. And when you put it up there, it actually creates dioxins. And that is very cancer causing in that area. So that's why you have to be really, really cautious. The anal tissue and the vaginal tissue, you should not be putting those types of chemicals. And they use formaldehyde in it because it makes it stronger. And formaldehyde also has some cancer causing effects.
That's so crazy.
And again, if you were rubbing it on the back of your hand, it would be one thing, but that's not what we're using it for. Those tissues are very, very, very sensitive to those chemicals.
Does that
and
mean,
that's what the studies
do you
show.
believe in sunning your butthole?
I'm not saying I disbelieve it, but I'm not excited about doing that.
Have you done it?
Oh yeah,
I've done it.
Yeah, I've done it. Yeah.
Kind of feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here in Arizona,
but
you
I'm
gotta
not
do it.
completely fixed.
Right.
I'm like out there, like,
Right.
sunning it all the time. Who has time for this?
I know. I've done it a couple times. I'm afraid my kids are going to come home with their friends. Dad's in the backyard sunning his butthole, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah. You know what? There was just someone sent me a picture of their name. It was a thing. It was a meme, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, I have to look out and I see my neighbor, and she spread like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I saw that too.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right. It's like you couldn't see
yeah.
anything graphic or
Right,
anything,
right,
but you
right.
saw her doing that.
Yeah.
That's what she was doing.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
So
Well,
real fast, the book. It's
the
called
book?
Your Own Perfect Medicine by Martha Christie.
Your Own Perfect Medicine by Martha Christie.
Okay.
You can download it for free. I mean, I don't even know. Buy it. It's probably cheap as heck. But I'm telling you, if you're considering it, there's the how-to, and you'll hear. Just read the first chapter, and it's worth its weight in gold.
Hey man, thanks for being on my podcast.
Hey man, I love it. This is fun.
So pompaprogram.com
Yep.
and on your Instagram is Dr. Pompa.
Yeah, DRPOMPA.
Yeah, it's a great follow. It's
Yeah.
a fantastic follow. You learn something every single post. It's really good stuff.
Love it,
And I'm a
man.
huge fan, so thank you very much,
Yeah,
Doc.
thank you, bro.
Thanks, man. Okay, so welcome to our podcast. This is a little bit different today because this podcast is a spin-off of our radio show.